Good morning, everybody. Hey, I just wanted to make a quick observation, real quick. Um, about a few days ago, we ended up looking at an IUIC study packet. And in this study packet was basically, just a whole bunch of questions and phrases with a bunch of scriptures, right? However, there's one thing I wanted to show you guys real quick before I head to work today. um, if you actually look at number 9 right here, where it actually says, a woman can't wear pants. Why can't women wear pants? It's Deuteronomy 22:5. We'll go there in a second, but before we go there, there's one thing that I noticed. For some unknown reason, in number 18, it actually shows this. It says here that men wore robes, not pants. Now, again, this is supposed to be an IUIC study guide, right? These are the verses. But for now, I'm not going to look at those. I'm going to go back up here, and I'm going to look at this verse right here and see what this really meant. So let's go ahead and do that. So if you go ahead and look here, it basically says, "The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord," right? Now, of course, we do know that there are things that we make today that pertain to women, like women's pants. Women's pants have a certain shape, contour, and tightness. And if you really want to get specific, you have things called yoga pants, primarily for women. They don't pertain to men. So we do actually make things today that pertain to women. So there's no context in here that says that women can't wear pants. That's a subjective claim, not an objective claim. Now, another thing I wanted to do is I also wanted to show that there's a deeper way to look at this. I have something called the Exegesis Companion Bible. It literally breaks down what things actually archaically mean. And this is what they've come up with. "Neither bear the instruments of the mighty upon a woman, nor the mighty enrobe that of the woman. For all who work thus are abhorrence to Yahweh your Elohim." Now I think it's interesting that it said instruments of the mighty upon a woman. Because, well, that has a lot to do with cultural context. So I'm going to go ahead over here. I'm going to read two commentaries, and this comes from You Can Understand the Bible, study guide commentary, basically by Dr. Rob Utley. And this is what he says. It says this verse has been proof text to dictate appropriate dress for modern worship, i.e., women cannot wear slacks to church. It must be remembered that both male and female wore robes in the ancient Near East. So I guess that's the reason why it said here that, that men wore robes and not pants. Right, that does make sense. Let's go back. It says, "The basic thrust of this text is not patriarchal, but the rejection of Canaanite worship, practices, abominations," right? You have Leviticus 18, verses 26 and 27. And you also have verse 29 through 30. This is to be appropriate distinction between the God-given difference between males and females, the created order. So this is not meant to be a negative, restricting distinction, but an affirmation to the different strengths of cultural functions of the sexes. It is surely possible that this text is connected to the Mosaic Covenant's condemnation of homosexuality practiced in worship settings by the Canaanites. So that's one reason why they weren't really allowed to, cross-dress like that, because of the Canaanite worship. But there's one more thing I wanted to point out, because this actually says here, "Neither bear the instruments of the mighty upon a woman." The instruments of the mighty. What is that cultural context? Well, let's look over here. I want to now go to Jamieson, Fawcett, and Brown. This is an excellent commentary. This is what it says here. It says, the disguises were assumed that at certain times in pagan temples, and there's this guy named Maimonides, and he comes from, he actually has a reference in his own book, and he mentions that a man attired in a colored female dress in honor of Venus, Ashtoreth, or Astarte, and a woman equipped in armor worshipped at the shrine of the statue of Mars. You can see also Spencer, Do Lebigus or Legibus, and also Hebraeorium, right? And that's in Library Volume 1, caption, Chapter 5, verse 11, I believe. So yes, you could actually see that this is a reason why they weren't allowed to do that. Now, the context that I showed was that they were not allowed to switch garments. From this context, you cannot draw any kind of reference to a restriction of women wearing pants. That's all I wanted to say. Other than that, I actually looked up the word garment because, it actually does say the word garment, right? This is from the Septuagint, right? You can't put on a woman's dress. So when I went into the Septuagint, the word garment turned into dress, right? A man cannot put on a woman's dress. Dress, garment. This is a Greek word, and it says wrapper, mantle, covering, garment, garments, clothes, raiment, a cloth. This is a part where people like to go ahead and say, oh, look, you can't wear men's clothes. But yet, we have a men's section in a clothing store and a woman's section in a clothing store. And you have a woman's kind of pants and a man's kind of pants. And there are totally different distinctions of the kind of pants that they wear. So therefore, because this is a subjective verse, you cannot universally say that women are not allowed to wear pants at all. I just wanted to point that out this morning. Other than that, have a good day.